Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 8, and today we are about the development of education in the Second Republic. Next slide, please. Here you can see the objectives of our talk today. The aims of the Republic will also be stated along the way as we delve into each presidential term. So without further ado, let's start.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephen L. Duenas, and I'm going to be discussing three presidents under the Fourth Republic and their contributions to the education sector. So, first, let's go with the former late President Corazon C. Aquino from 1996 until 1992. Education was prioritized as a fundamental right and a key to liberating people from poverty and oppression, as stated in the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Article 14 of the Constitution mandated the state to protect and promote quality education that should be accessible to all, provide free education from elementary to secondary education, and provide scholarship and vocational training, and guarantee academic freedom and teacher welfare. Under her term, there was a significant shift towards democratic and participatory teaching methods, encouragement of critical thinking, and values education, which is stated in the Free Education Act of 1988, which made public secondary education free for all qualified citizens and implemented the new secondary education curriculum to restore democratic ideas after the Marcos dictatorship, making education as a tool for national development and social justice. She issued Executive Order Number 117 of 1987 and subsequent laws, and the Philippine government undertook significant reforms to make and enhance education, efficiency, and accessibility. In short, her term focused on the reorganization of the Department of Education, which education should be accessible to all. Next slide, please. Now let's move on with the 12th president of the Philippines, which is the former late President Fidel V. Ramos. He was also recognized as the most effective leader who prioritized education as a key driver for national development. During his term, he signed landmark laws such as the Dual Training Act of Republic Act 7686, the Republic Act 7722 or the Higher Education Act, Republic Act 7796 or the TESDA Act, the Republic Act 7784, the Center of Excellence in Teacher Education Act, and the Lengthening of School Calendar Act or the Republic Act 7797, which collectively improved practical and vocational education, the Commission on Higher Education, enhanced teacher education, and extended of the established calendar year to improve learning time. This term, his whole term focused on the reforms that aim to the school year and to improve the practical training, ensure quality and access in higher education, and aim to develop a skilled workforce responsive to new technologies and job preparation. Next slide, please. Lastly, I'm going to discuss the former President Joseph Estrada, who is also the 13th president of the country, who is a former actor and a former politician. His key contribution to education is the PCER, or the Presidential Commission on Educational Reform. Its purpose is to distinguish and suggest comprehensive educational reform, which will be composed of multi-sectoral bodies from different government agencies, the University of the Philippines, and other key stakeholders. Its aim is to the role of education in national development and global competitiveness. The whole contribution of this educational reform is to help think and innovate ways about the system of education, as well as to comprehensively review and reform the Philippine education system. Next slide, please.
Thank you so much for that, Stephen. Now let's move on to former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Next, please. During her presidency, Arroyo prioritized education by addressing textbook shortages, distributing around 10 million textbooks nationwide and constructing over 1,600 school buildings, especially in underserved areas. She restored English as the medium of instruction to enhance global competitiveness and implemented the basic education curriculum, improving teaching in core subjects like math and science, and training approximately 600,000 teachers. Teacher welfare was also improved through payroll system reforms, investigations into benefit processing, and hiring 15,000 new teachers. Next, please. Additionally, Republic Act number 9155, which is the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, was enacted to restructure the Department of Education mandate free compulsory education, and promote decentralized, transparent governance in basic education, and many more. Though her term focused on economic reforms and significant policy initiatives, it is known that the promotion of outcomes-based education or OBE in higher education and the integration of information and communication technology in teaching are already seen here.
Thank you so much for that, Jen. Now let's proceed to Benigno Simeon Noynoy Aquino III, or the 15th President of the Philippines, who became a symbol of hope for Filipinos seeking justice, peace, and inclusive progress. His administration implemented the K-12 program, adding 2 years to basic education to better prepare students for college or employment. Despite legal challenges, the Enhanced Basic Education Act was upheld, with the first senior high school graduates emerging in 2016. Under his leadership, the education budget more than doubled, enabling the construction of over 120,000 classrooms, the distribution of millions of textbooks, and the hiring of nearly 200,000 teachers. Aquino also championed laws such as the Kindergarten Education Act, Anti-Bullying Act, and the Palarong Pambansa Act. He boosted support for the higher and technical education with budget increases for state universities and TESDA, expanding access to scholarships and skills training. His legacy in education reflects a strong commitment to long-term national development through learning and methods like a major shift to learner-centered, constructivist approaches and encouragement of active learning, group work, and project-based learning are seen.
Okay, now let's move on to the 16th President of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, who was known for his war on drugs campaign. During his governance for 6 years, he signed lots of acts and programs for accessible education, including the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act of Republic Act 10931, which provides free tuition and other school fees in state universities. Tertiary Education Subsidy, or TES, which provides financial assistance to deserving Filipino students pursuing tertiary education. Republic Act number 11470, which established the National Academy of Sports. Republic Act number 11476, which institutionalized GMRC and values education in the K-12 curriculum. Republic Act number 11510, which established the alternative learning system and basic education for out-of-school children in special classes. And lastly, Republic Act number 11650, which is a policy of inclusion, which provides services for learners with disabilities and establishing inclusive resource center.
On to the last president and the current president of Philippines, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. He has prioritized comprehensive reforms in the Philippine education system, and his administration has focused on revising the K-12 curriculum to emphasize sciences, theoretical aptitude, and vocational skills, aiming to enhance global competitiveness among Filipino students with the Matatag K-10 curriculum rollout starting this incoming academic year. President Marcos also advocates for upskilling teachers by removing bureaucratic barriers to career advancement and ensuring better welfare. Additionally, his administration has institutionalized programs like the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program, or the ETEEAP, and endorsed the National Education and Workforce Development Plan, or the NAT Plan, to align education with labor market needs, further supported by efforts to improve school infrastructure and return to the old school calendar for better learning conditions. Since it is the present time after the pandemic, his term focused on emphasis on blended learning, digital literacy, and technical vocational training and foundational skills, which are reading, writing, and arithmetic. Next slide, please. For the insights, if we were to be a teacher and a learner during these times, which we are, the group said that as a learner during the Republic's educational reforms, one would experience a curriculum increasingly responsive to the national identity, global trends, and learner diversity, which is right because it not only strengthens our academic abilities but also our social responsibility. However, as a teacher, the Republic demands adaptability to the new curricula like the K-12 or the K-10, use of mother tongue instruction, and learner-centered methods. There is a strong responsibility to foster a more inclusive and for all education as we prove our paths to a more diverse and inclusive education. So, that's it for development of education during the current republic. Thank you so much.